Hello, welcome, beautiful people. How are you? I love talking about topics like today, and today is all about you go girl, you go girl. Ah, okay, so let's bring it back to my college days. Bring it on back. In my college days, I was really close with someone, and she was telling me about babysitting, and she was like, yeah, just like go and, back then it wasn't like go on the internet. It was more like go to the local student building and look it up. So I went in there and I saw, oh, they're looking for a babysitter for the summer. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I got this. So I called the lady. She, had me come over, and she was like, yeah, you'd be great, And one of my favorite visitations was that this girl called me Maleficent, right? Now, granted, I'm pretty sure that show was like a bit popular at the time, but I loved it because it made me feel magnificent. I was like, yeah, you could totally call me Maleficent. I don't care if you're 5 years old or 3 years old or whatever. Call me Maleficent. So that was like my first like real true babysitting gig, right? And so then they kept coming to me because hey, why not? Like, I went to school for education. I love kids. They love me. Go to the shopping market. All the kids smile. I smile back. I'm like, hi, like we know each other. Like we have a thing, okay? So I get this other gig babysitting, and now the girl's a little older. She's like 6, 7, right? And I was with them for years, like a couple years, right? And I love this gig, but I was always really careful when I said to her, you go girl, because I always save that for like a really specific time. Like, okay, let me make sure I say it to her when she really deserves something, like she was super courageous about, okay? And there was this one time she had started soccer, and I brought her to soccer practice, and she was meeting all the new girls, and she was like the tallest one, and like I remember being the tallest one, and she was just so nervous. I don't think any of the girls went to her school, and I was like, go introduce yourself. Like, don't be afraid, don't be shy, go ahead, go for it. So she went over there, and she was like this. How many times do we feel this way? She brought her, and she said, hi. And then when the girl said hi back, she kind of, relaxed. And her body language, relaxed. I could see she was more comfortable. And I was like giving her the thumbs up, like on the sideline, like, good job, So she did the whole practice, and she did the whole soccer thing, and she came back in the car, and I gave her like a really big like high five, and I was like, you go girl, because that it's just like the best thing I can say is you go girl. And I do it to myself. And so the times I do it to myself is more like when I'm really trying to improve something, and I know that it takes a lot of determination, really. And so like I look at life, and it's like we have memories and we have lessons. And if you look at life like that, it's so much more fun. And so when I'm looking at myself, and I'm looking at, my goals and the things that I'm working on and showing up for, it's really about taking the leap and showing up. And I've talked a lot about this on my Facebook, and I probably will continue for a long time because I think it's really important. And honestly, I want to get into the depth of what it is to call your power back to you, right? Because we can be courageous in our head and know the thing, like know the answers. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that. But then actually looking at your life as objectively, like observationally on the outside, are you really doing the thing? So another example is exercising. I remember a time when I made a goal. I'm getting up 5 a.m. twice a week, and I'm going to do cardio twice a week. And then on the weekend, I'll do strength training. And so I set to that, right? When I would leave the gym, not when I showed up, when I would leave the gym, I would be like, you go girl. No matter what I accomplished for the day, I did it. I showed up. I was there. Showing up is the best thing in the world. It is the best thing. And I've been told by wonderful, extremely successful people that is the best thing to do, is to do the show. But it is the hardest thing. It is the hardest thing to get your sneakers and put them on to go to the gym, right? It's the hardest thing to push live, to go Facebook Live, because you're like, well, what if I mess up? Well, what if you don't? Well, what if I look weird? Well, what if people think it's cool that your hair is frizzy and you don't have earrings on and you're just ready to talk about something that's really important to your heart? What about that? What about you just being yourself and being the most yourself that you've ever been? And so that people can calibrate to that. People can understand they can be that way. You're giving them permission without giving them permission. Who am I as an adult to say, yeah, you could do it too? Do I have to coach? Do I have to encourage you like I coached the little girl? Do I have to say, you go girl? I could do it a different way. I could do it by likes. I could do it with some words of affirmation. But more importantly, I can show you that I'm doing it and you can do it too. And you can. And that's the power in this. The power is more women who rise to the occasion of leadership change the world. And this spoke to my heart when I was in college and I saw these women, I think they're in Africa, being castrated. You know, their pubics were being no good, right? And these women were traveling there, leaders, to change, to help, to try to help these little girls who were going through this situation. And I couldn't even go pee. I couldn't get up to go to the bathroom because back then you couldn't pause. You just had to watch it, right? That's one reason. And I was just holding onto the couch and I was like, I have to watch every minute of this documentary. I can't move from the seat. This is important. Now, what am I going to do from the couch? But my heart was being called to this higher purpose, this impact, right? So another thing is I could have been super quiet about my experience, my story, the things I've shared, right? The fact that I was willing about a year ago to share that I was preparing for an explant surgery has saved countless women's lives. And that's not like an ego thing. I'm so grateful that I have a story that they're able to help other people. And people say to me, I hope it's okay that I'm like, oh my gosh, of course. I put it on the internet on purpose. Share the story. Please. I don't want any woman to go through what I went through, emotionally or physically. I mean, gosh, it's been a journey. And that meaning not so fun. But I diverge back to the you go girl because I always go back to you're doing better than you think you are. You're doing better than you think you are. You are extremely loved. You are extremely loved. Even if you don't have any person in your corner, if you don't have any person that you have been talking to, maybe been quarantined at home, you haven't been reaching out to people and talking to them, you still have the energy of love to yourself if you accept it. I really hope you understand that. I don't know why this is my thing to share, to speak life into, but it is. I've been called to do this 100%. With teenage girls, with young women, middle-aged women, older women, you know, we all want the same things in life. We want to feel good. We want to be happy. We want to enjoy. We want to have great experiences. And you can, but it does take a lot of courage and it takes going outside of your comfort zone. So I think I'm going to create a container. I'm going to create a container where there is a space for women to rise. And I have a private Facebook group, but this is going to be more one-on-one. If any of these videos, if you've been watching me the past couple days, are speaking to you, send me a message and I'll put you on a waiting list, and I'll have the waiting list for you to get into this container. And in this container, I will be helping you get to that next place. If you have that yearning in your heart that you just want to express and level up and become better and feel stronger and make more money and feel more beautiful and speak more eloquently and feel like you don't need to hold back and love your body language and be interested in who you're becoming. If you want all those things, I'm really going to create a wonderful place, and doors are going to open on Wednesday because I have a little more time on Wednesday. And send me a DM and I'll get you on the waiting list. And I'm just really excited about this creation that's coming together. I think it's going to help a lot of women. The thing is, when women come together and they're like-minded, like if you're at the place where you're like, I'm ready to like step out of my comfort zone. I'm ready to go that next step. I'm ready to speak my story, to share my truth. I'm ready to be more open about the business that I joined 5 years ago that I haven't been sharing. If you're ready for that, I think this would be a perfect place for you. So I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Thank you for having me come on in today, and I will see you guys soon. Much love. Fill your heart. You go, girl. Mwah.